Alrighty, today we're going to learn how we can serve up responsive images that are Retina ready. And what do I mean by that? Pretty much any high def, doesn't have to be Retina, just any high def screen is going to want a nice high resolution image to be served to it versus just a regular screen like my desktop here. And how can we do that creatively using just one image and BC's thumbnailer tool. I'll show you how to do that. This is a full-on hack, and I don't know if it'd even be good to use in a project, but it just kind of shows you something fun that we can do with JavaScript or jQuery and the thumbnailer. So in order to do this, there's other solutions out there like Retina.js is a good one here for if you want to go the JavaScript route for serving up higher res pictures or images and stuff. And the way it works is it actually looks on the server to see if you have a duplicate file name with this at 2 times added to the file name, and then it will serve that up for a high resolution device. But I wanted to do, I didn't want to have to create another image, and just one high resolution image is all I wanted to mess with, and I wanted to hack the thumbnailer. And here's how I did it. Pretty much here I am driving directly to this test image here, which happens to be, if I check this out here in the browser in its native size, this is a large image. And so if I bounce back here and using the thumbnailer, which is basically this query string parameter here where we're throwing the, I don't need that and sign there. We're throwing an action here, we're giving a thumbnail as a value, then we're just throwing in parameters here, and this height, just disregard. It's just got to be a giant number for this to work. If we get down below the actual width of the image, the image will not be the size we want. We want to just force width here pretty much. So you just make that a large number, and it seems to hold up the aspect ratio good. So basically what's happening here, a user with a standard resolution screen will just be served up this high-res image, but it will be thumbnailed. And what's cool about that is if I look at this in the inspector, this particular image is going to be a smaller file size. So I'm going to drive to this image, and in the inspector we're going to see that this it's saying that the dimensions are 800 by 600. And this is because we have this forced into this width here. A container using CSS is forcing it at this width. It's 44K pretty much. And now if I resize the browser, with CSS I'm making this image responsive with max width. But if I refresh the browser, like if someone landed on this particular page with this screen size, and then check out that image, 22K. So we can see that the size of the image and the viewport, it's getting served a smaller file size, which is pretty cool. That's using the BC thumbnailer. Now, if I emulate here, I've got off to the side, I've got an iOS emulator going on here using the Apple SDK. You can, run one of these emulators, and here I am running the test on a high-res device. Now I have we'll get to the code in a sec, but I have an alert saying, yes, you are we are detecting a high-res device, and then we just basically say okay, and then we serve up that larger high-quality image here. Of course, we can't really see the quality here on the on my screen because it's not a Retina screen, but we do know that it's working. And the way that we know that it's working is if I pull over a web inspector and actually inspect this code that we're viewing inside of the emulator, we're going to see that just the native image is being served here. It's a 600 by 1200 pixel image. It's twice the size of the container, which is what we're going to want to do for these high resolution images. Here's a little sneak peek at the HTML. Basically, we're just passing the file name and a data attribute. So with that being said, let's dive into the code real quickly. And again, I don't know if you'd want to use this on a project or not, but it kind of just might get your brain thinking about how you could creatively use the thumbnailer using JavaScript. And let's just start thinking about these screens moving forward. So basically, all we're doing is we're looking at images. If you had a lot of images on the page, this might be slow too. So who knows? But it's just fun nonetheless. We're firing through every image using each function here in the page, and we're basically grabbing the SRC here, the custom SRC that we have here in the markup. There is no source attribute being defined. Just a silly alt here. So basically what we're doing is we're just defining a couple of the actual path to the file, and then we're building out our thumbnailer. And what we're doing is we're looking at, in this case, I have a figure tag wrapping the image. I'm grabbing the width of its parent. This is what's kind of making it responsive. And that's how we're defining the dynamic width here in the thumbnailer. And then I'm just hard coding some crazy value at the end here. Okay, and then I'm just tying them all together. I'm just grabbing that, the path of the image, and then hacking in that, we don't need this. I'm gonna save that. Hacking in this custom query string parameter. And we're off to the races. Now let's see, we're using a little bit of a window.device pixel ratio to sniff for whether or not it's higher than 1. Any device that is higher than 1 is going to be a high res or high def device. And then, so we're alerting like you saw in the example, and just basically defining its source attribute value here. So if it's not one of those, then what do? We define the source using the downsize SRC, which was all of this put together using the thumbnailer. And so that's basically it. So out here on the front end, using just a regular browser, of course we get the standard issue CSS-driven responsiveness of the image. That's in the CSS here. If you see that here, that's here. I have a container with a max width, and so this is just basic CSS responsive images, but it will load, like I said, unique to the viewport. So here, if I do a refresh, we wouldn't want to serve up a 1600 pixel wide image for this user. That'd be quite a toll for their download on their small device. So I'll inspect this image and see what file size they did download here. So it's a 15K image. So hope you enjoyed this little hack. Take care.